What's up guys, welcome back to MD Disc Golf. Today we have a battle of the Innova 12 speeds. Right here I have a Star Factory Second Destroyer and the newest disc to Innova's lineup, the Innova Racer. So where this is 12.5 -1.3, this is 12.6 -1.2. So pretty similar discs. But today, I'm just gonna show you some throws and play a couple holes with both these discs to show you the difference, and then hopefully you guys can see if this is the newest addition to your bag. Let's get into it. So, if you've been playing for disc golf for any amount of time, you probably know the Innova Destroyer. It's widely regarded like the penultimate, like 12-speed driver. Everyone knows about them, everyone recommends them. There's a lot of beginners who ended up throwing them probably way before they should. And recently Innova came out with this, which is the Racer, which lends itself, at least flight numbers wise, it sounds like it'd probably be what you could call like the people's destroyer. Like, feels like it's gonna fly just a little bit less stable than your normal stock destroyer. So I'm gonna start out with throwing it on at this field. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw in a couple different angles for both discs, and then kind of show you what like an average amateur player would throw. So first, throw it on hyzer to flat. Sit! And that's in someone's yard. So throw the Racer next. Okay, that actually ended up being really similar. So that went about the same distance, and I threw it about the same amount of hyzer. In the mid-flight, it didn't really look like it did anything different. It kind of like pushed the same, maybe started to flip a little bit, like rise, but it never turned over. And then the biggest thing I saw is that it just didn't dump as hard. So by the flight numbers, exactly what you'd think so far, but let's go ahead and get those, throw them in anhyzer, and then compare the differences. Okay, so I went and got them. It was actually kind of funny. They landed like 20 feet away from each other, with this one being like a lot less off the path, so to speak, so it went a lot straighter. The Destroyer did go a little bit further, but I definitely feel like I put more into this one. I feel like I braced a little bit better. But I totally noodle armed both of them. They only went like 320, 325. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on anhyzer now, and then I'll go ahead and range find them and see what they end up being at. Okay. That one felt like a better throw. That maybe not maybe just a little bit more anhyzer would have been nice, but hopefully you can see that just went like really straight and then started to fight out there at the end. So normal destroyer. Racer. Oh, there we go. That one had a lot more anhyzer on it, but you can see like a super beautiful pan on that. That was really, really nice. That was a lot more anhyzer than the Destroyer, but it really just like held the pan the entire way and kind of just flattened out the end. So we'll go ahead and range those and see what those flew. Okay, just ranged those, got these back. Again, really interesting. So they both, it was kind of hard because I didn't really have a good frame of reference shooting back here at the laser. But from what I can tell, like, they were like the same like vertical distance, just like the Destroyer was 30 feet to the left. This was just super straight. Like, obviously I put that in anhyzer, you guys saw that and it panned out, but this stayed straight out of where I threw, whereas this one dumped, but they went the same distance. It was like 350. So I'm starting to wonder if this is in a scenario where it comes down to just like hand feel. Like, you're gonna get the same results between the two discs because they're both 12 speeds, they're both fast, both have good glide. You can see the Destroyer will cut through the air a little bit better because it has a thinner wing, whereas the Racer, it might be hard to see that, but it has this weird like nose bead, which at first, feeling it, I thought it was gonna be like really distracting. It's not. If you've thrown a Passion or a Comet or any of those discs that have like a really pronounced bead, it really doesn't feel that bad. It almost feels like a Firebird, how a Firebird comes out near the underside of it. So it's not distracting at all. It's really comfortable to hold. This plastic, this metal flake that they ran it in is super grippy, like got some nice dome to it. Like it's a good feeling disc. So I almost am wondering if this isn't really just like a straighter, I mean, it's what it is by the flight number, it's a straighter destroyer. So I'm wondering if this is not just like a better choice for beginners because it's just not gonna fade as much. Like you have a higher chance of it accomplishing the line that you want to throw. So I don't know. The last thing we're gonna do is really just try to hit it like max distance. Maybe I'll throw forehand if I feel like it, and then throw some holes with both of them to try and wrap it up. But yeah, see which one flies further. Go ahead and start with the factory second destroyer. Push. Okay. So that flew a little bit further than on Anheuser. So not a bad attempt. Now we got the Racer. There we go. That felt good. Once again, kind of just the same. I'll go ahead and get them and shoot back again with the distance, see how it turned out, but they look like they flew exactly the same, but it just like, it accomplished the same shot. The Racer was on Heiser and the Destroyer wasn't Anheuser. I don't know. Okay, so just got back, ranged it. And this one has really got me perplexed because this time the Destroyer flew just a little bit further. So I'm thinking that it's because I put it on a less, almost dropped that. I think I threw this on more of like my stock, like Heiser flip shy, because it feels really comfortable. Like it's a really good stability. I really like this more than the Destroyer. But like I threw this on like more like a max distance line where I put the Anheuser on it and let it flex out. So I'm wondering if someone who's a little bit more consistent with an Anheuser put this on more height, if they'd be able to get more distance than me. Because that's not really my go-to. I really like throwing those less stable, like Heiser flip up to turn and come back for my max distance. I'm gonna go ahead and play some holes to finish up this video, and then I'll give my final kind of thoughts after I've thrown it in some real world scenarios and then kind of, you know, comparing it directly, see what the results are. Alrighty, so we are on hole 3 at Disciples, par 3, 258 feet. It's a perfect hole to kind of show off like a forehand with a distance driver, stock forehand with a distance driver. Go to the Destroyer first. So nice and super Heiser. Try it, see if it's any better with the Racer. That swung out wider more. Much better result. Nice. So I really feel like I threw these about the same. I feel like this is a better indicator of the stability of the driver. Ooh, almost. Body's been feeling good. But yeah, I feel like this is a really good indication of like, it shows the difference in stability. Whereas the Racer has a flighter path, it still has stability. The Destroyer, I feel like you really have to overpower it to get the same result. All right, clean these two up. A par for the Destroyer and a birdie for the Racer. Next hole. All right, so now it's hole 2, so we're kind of working backwards. This is the kind of the closest one that I wanted to just demonstrate the like full flight of the disc. So hole 2, 328 feet, so well within range for a distance driver. So try and just do like another stock shot and play it kind of the same. Destroyer up first. Oh. That was not online. Very much a grip lock. So another chance here with the racer. That's gonna be a much better result. Yeah, that's long. See? Okay, another little insight here. It could just be because I grip lock. I'm not the most accurate player, you guys know that. But I feel like with the destroyer, I kind of feel like I have to get over on it to get the same distance. Versus the racer, you can see I went naturally to that hyzer. So I'd be kind of curious to see how that would fly. Like, what would the result be if I just threw the destroyer on the same flight path? All right, just a little bit of work to do left here for the destroyer. Give it a good bid. Oh, kept that out too far to the right. Should have jump putted. Okay, so racer definitely went a little long. Still gotta look over this branch. Well, you can't ask for a better run than that. So looking like a par for both, even though I almost made a birdie with a racer. So, all right, on to the last hole. All right, last hole for today, hole 1, par 3, 249 feet, and try to move quickly because batteries are running out. So this one, last scenario, is kind of like a spike forehand. So holes around this barn right here, and it's an elevated basket, so it's kind of a situation where like normally I throw like a zone or a firebird or something on forehand. Forehand definitely is good for this hole, but sometimes you want something a little bit faster, it's just gonna dump. So I'm gonna try and hang it out a little wide and let it kind of stall and fall in. So go with the racer first. Oh yeah, you guys get kind of a bounce, and that looks like it's going to be at the base of the basket. So I do the same shot with the destroyer. That one I feel like I put more power in, but it's like the same. So yeah, you can just kind of highlight, you can do the same. You can throw like this, they're not too dissimilar that like you can't have the same result. Like they have enough hyzer or enough stability and high speed stability so that like if you throw it on low power, it's gonna fall out of the sky. Woohoo! Oh boy. Destroyer. So super good shot. Racer, probably about 20 feet. So not bad either. Oh, one day my putts will be better. Go ahead and tap this out and try to make the comeback par. There we go. All right, so final thoughts here. So through 3 holes, both the racer and the destroyer ended up both -1. So chalk it up to user error, not like, you know, a super in-depth look at the capabilities of the discs, but the one thing, the main takeaways that I really noticed are they're both fully capable of achieving the same shots. You can definitely see that on this last hole. And then also like when I was throwing them, but it comes down to hand feel. So like when people say like, oh, it's like the peoples or whatever, like, you know, So we're calling this the People's Destroyer. I actually think it's a really apt name, because at first I was thinking like, oh, you know, this is gonna go so much further and it's gonna be like amazing. It's gonna be my new max distance driver, but it's not. It's just what you would hope the Destroyer to fly like. So that all might be like, hey Carson, that makes sense because of the flight numbers, but everyone knows flight numbers are super misleading and they don't always tell the truth. But I feel like I got the same result, same distance at least, on throwing like an Anheuser max power, or trying to get max power Anheuser Destroyer where it would pan out and fade, versus throwing the Racer on Heiser, letting it flip up and fade. And they faded like the same amount, maybe a little bit less for the Racer, but the distance was the same. It felt more comfortable, and overall in general I had more confidence that this was going to fly like I wanted it to. Maybe because I have the memories of like super beefy Destroyers flying like incredibly stable, but nevertheless these fly very similar, they feel very similar, but one flies like a beating Destroyer right out of the box and one is just your normal go-to like distance driver. So I guess really what I'm trying to say is I actually do think that the Racer is a much better choice for amateurs and beginner players, because you can get the same results as a Destroyer with way less effort. So I don't know. Yeah. So if you guys get a chance to throw the Racer, let us know in the comments, or if you've gotten your hands on one already, let us know what you guys think of it. But if not, if you watch the entire video, please like and subscribe to our channel. It means a lot, and keep coming back if you like this kind of content. We got some really excited videos coming up here planned in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.